hack there about how we work, and emphasis on a good balance on emphasis of experimenting, but be careful and thinking outside the box. So next up we have Dhani Sutanto, who will also be taking us through use cases, so tried and tested, and be able to give us some ins and outs.
Right, thank you. All right, well, thank you so much, Jenny, for giving me the chance to speak here, and thank you so much for everybody to give your precious time, work time, and your funds to actually come over and hear me speak for 15 minutes. I hope I don't, disappoint you guys with my 15 minutes short talk. So there's a lot of, I suppose, kind of like similar kind of what do you call it, thinking and everything that Lab has been saying, and also Salah has been saying as well. But here what I'm going to show you guys is things that are like, how do you call it, the thing behind the scenes that you saw, what the first presentation was talking about, how you can personalize and things like that. These are the tools that we are currently testing and using and actually implementing for our clients. So how did it start? Who are we? So I'm Dhani. I'm one of the director of 42 Interactive. I have my business partner here, Paul, as well. I'm the creative part of the company. I'm the one who's coloring, and Paul here is the one who's coding in a way. You know what I mean? So the two directors, and we are just a small company. We used to be a digital creative agency doing end-to-end digital services, design, semi-marketing kind of things, building apps, websites, and so on for our clients. And then now we're kind of like more focusing on becoming a technology company that's basically focusing on AI and automation. And just because everybody's doing it, and then for us, it's like, hey, this is kind of like a sweet spot for us to actually be, because we're not really, how do you call it, like a creative in terms of like marketers or advertisers. We're actually building operational tools and platforms for our clients. That's who we became. So you're probably getting overwhelmed right now by how many AI tools out there. Anybody share the same thing, right? Like, how do we start, right? Like, there's DeepSeek. You're doing DeepSeek for a little bit, and after that, tomorrow, oh no, it's Quen coming out, from Alibaba. So there's so many. OpenAI. And then, looking at some of automations, you probably know it's Zapier. Some of you are already using Zapier, and they come up with their own AI stuff. From project management and things like that, like, ClickUp, they'll come up with their own AI. There's so many. And so many image generations as well, like Midjourney. You have Adobe doing, with Firefly. There's so many tools. Like, which one is actually useful? Sometimes gets really, really overwhelming. I thought that in the first place. Like, how do I start? How do we start our journey as just a typical digital agency into kind of like a technology company that actually working and using AI? So the best way to do it is just jump in and just dive and try them, right? Try and then see which one sticks. Now, I always pursue, as a creative or a design background, I always pursue something that is going to be original, something that has a high quality, right? Not just like, just image generate and it'll be all right about it. We always start with a prompt, right, for generative AI, for example. Okay, this is the typical prompt that we want to get from an AI tool. As an example, a beautiful businesswoman carrying a white tote bag looking at the viewer, and such and such and such. Now, there's a lot of people out there that would kind of think about, oh, I need to be a prompt engineer now because I'm a designer, but I don't need to use the tool now. There's this jargon about being a good prompt engineer. Here's how you should structure your prompt and things like that, right? But then I was testing it. Okay, let's test all these different tools with the same prompt and see what we get, all right? So which one do you think out of these three are a real person? Anybody? Neither. That's correct. None of them are actually real person. All of them are AI. But you've seen so much of this one, right? You see a lot of this one, because you probably tried it as well in ChatGPT, right? So that's what I did, right? I just throw the same prompt into ChatGPT and see what I got. Yes, beautiful, illustrative, but not really real, right? And then we saw that a lot in a lot of LinkedIn posts, especially with everything that kind of like a lot of marketers usually do. Oh, build websites, build apps, we can do it. And you have this, kind of like weird laptop looking and with things flying out from, with just jumbled up word SEO, website, apps, It's similar, in a similar manner, right? DALL-E, does it make any difference? Not really. This is gonna create something similar, but it got the correct prompt though, right? It's using wabi-sabi colors. All of you creative, you would know, colors that are matching with one another and looks nice. It does it correctly. It gets the idea, but it's just like not detailed enough. And I can't do anything else to actually make it better. There might be some help, some tools to kind of like set it up to be better, but it's not enough, right? I want a little bit more original, a bit more personal. Okay, so these are the three ones that you saw, right? Like it's there, but can you use it really for your clients? Maybe not. Maybe for your own marketing, maybe. And the next, a little bit better, maybe perhaps, is Midjourney. So I throw in the same, and again, ChatGPT is probably around $15 a month, right? Here, Midjourney, it's $9 a month. Now, okay, this looks great, right? It looks a little bit, more realistic. But who's gonna wear a tote bag like that, right? You get what I mean? It's a bit odd, right? It's not really correct. This one is not bad, it's kind of closest to realistic, right? And you can keep on doing the prompt again and again to try to get that specific thing. And then they come up with a new tool to personalize it. But do you know, if you pay $9 USD a month in Midjourney, all of these are public, right? Anybody can actually look at it and download it and use it. If you're working for a client that has a specific brand, like Bonds, for example, right? You ain't gonna use Midjourney because they'll be like, no, that's my marketing material. I don't want it to be stolen by people, right? So here you go. It's a little bit tricky, Yeah, they look great. My wife basically said, "Oh, this little bit look like a painterly. It doesn't really look like a real person." So again, I go deeper. Okay, what is actually good? So I came across something that basically, I don't want to share my creation online. I don't want to share it with anybody else. All right, Midjourney say, yeah, you can do that. $30 a month, USD. Goes straight up, so high, right? Or you want to train your AI model with so many generations, $90 a month. It's like, man, it's getting expensive, right? Immediately, that's the cons of AI. Sometimes they hit you like, it's free. Oh, you want to be more specific? $50. Oh man, right? Oh, with $50 you only have 5 credits. You can only do 5. This is what I find often. Even Zendesk. Anybody here using Zendesk for customers? No, it's basically for customer service, for tickets and so on and so forth, right? And they come up, oh, we released our Zendesk AI because my customer is using Zendesk. Great, because then it can help us managing the first level customer service. For example, it can solve problems. Or for your pro level, which we pay around, I think it's quite expensive actually. Or you only get like 5 cases to solve. Well, what happens if you have 20,000 people? You only help 5 with AI. That's it. Oh, you want more pro? Okay, that's going to be $5,000 a month. That's nuts. Okay. So these kind of things that we often encounter from all of these online services. So what we do well is kind of like, okay, I want to make it free. We're cheap. I don't want to pay so much money beforehand. So this is something that I'm going to show you. This is something that it's called Comfy UI. It's running a local AI generative model in your computer. I mean, if you're a designer, you probably have like your fancy gaming PC, right? That does all of your video editing as well. It runs locally there. It's never going to be down on the server, but you can also put it in the server. What does it do? So if you look at how Midjourney works, you just put in a prompt and then it works, right? So in similar way, I'm putting the prompt here, but it shows all of the different processes, all of the different models that you can change, even the models that you can train. So I'm gonna play it, hopefully it plays. So over here will be the models, right? This is kind of like, almost like peeling the skin. It's kind of like the brain, what's going on behind. It's a workflow of how to generate AI images. And then this is running locally, it's open source, and it's free, you know, which is great, because then you can experiment without cost. You can do this a lot of time, right? So here I'm carrying a tote bag. Yeah, the tote bag can be hit and miss sometimes, but that's how AI works, right? It trying to understand what you're trying to do, your intent, and then it will try to interpret it. Here is the upscaling part. Basically, it's like making it bigger, making it more detailed, making it more according to your need, right? So you'll see here, okay, this I speed it up like 600%. It's actually like 15 minutes every click, right? But for this purpose, otherwise it ran out of time. So as you can see here, I'm just comparing it between the previous image, the standard image or the refined image. I can refine, oh, better skin, better eyes. You know, I can add more prompt. I don't want it to be black eyes, I want it to be blue eyes. I can add a prompt, I don't want a Caucasian or Latino looking female, I want it to be Indian, or I want it to be, you know, African. I can do that, and then then it becomes a more personalized marketing, isn't it? So you can do this as many times. For example, I'm doing this in batches of 4. I click it, and then it will generate 4 of these images, and then looking at it from, you know, comparing. I'm here and just quickly comparing. Okay, before and after, is it good or not? And then you can tweak all of this. Now this is free, right? Yes, it has a little bit of a learning curve, trying to understand and so on and so forth, but that's what we do, right? We are a tech company that actually help, you know, clients to be able to do that. Now, our client here, which is International Towers at Barangaroo, they have like a loyalty program for the tenants, you know, and then you buy, let's say, lunch from different retailers, you'll get loyalty points. And then with the loyalty points, you can exchange it to merch. Now, instead of them going around renting a photo studio, getting a model, or trying to find a nice stock photo in this like that, all they can do is like, oh, let's generate an image, right? And then here's an example. Sorry, the cursor. So this is an example. For example, I've designed the tote bag for International Tower for a merch. In this case, I designed a tote bag. Well, I just mostly just copy and paste and put it in quickly in Photoshop, right? For that tote bag. And if you are a designer, this can take like a day or two. Finding the correct stock photos, finding the correct style of tote bag and so on, right? Or if in the traditional marketing, what do? You'll print the tote bag, hire a studio, hire a model, hire a photographer, right? How long does it take? Probably a week, mostly, to produce just one image. But with AI, this is the thing that is so fast and scarily fast and can scale so quickly. And here I'll just quickly do something similar with in Photoshop, right? You highlight it. In Firefly, you can also do this, right? But Firefly is $90 a month, right? Here is free. You can do this. Oh, hold on. There's a little bit of a mistake there. I'll just quickly just edit it a little bit. All right. Now, that's done. That's the bag. You saw that model before at the start. I know it's a bit complicated, but it's, you know, it's actually, I can just share it, and then all you need to do is just upload two photos, and then edit one of them. One click, right? Wait for 6 minutes, 1 click. If you're a designer, 80 hours maybe, if you're lucky, right? 1 click, and it's done. Okay. So this is like one of those things that you can scale up quickly. You can just replace that model okay, I want to target Asians. Let's just change Asian model, all of the different type of skins or look. There you go, right? It's one click and it's done. You're not even having to do anything else, trying to correct the color and things like that. The AI interprets it and does it like that. And again, like I want to stress out, this is running locally on my machine at home. It's a gaming PC, of course, yes, I know. It's probably cost, let's say now, currently with the GPU being low stock is $5,000, but hey, $5,000, you can do this anytime. You can generate 1,000 photos without iStock photo or Adobe subscriptions, and then you can train it to be specific to every single person. Isn't this going to be very handy? Now here, I'm just going to give it an example. Okay, what if I have a video example here, a simple control. I want to make a video out of it, right? Because I want to put it up on social media. I can do that in one click. It's doing it. I know it's a silly one, but it's the best example, the quickest example. And it can generate a longer video. She's too happy. I don't like it because the brand that I'm working with is angry. It's an angry brand, all right? Then I'll just, I don't want her to smile. Okay? I don't want her to smile. She's not smiling now, but still doing the blinks, right? Sorry, go. The workflows. Yeah, but the AI, this is a UI control to control the eye, to control the mouth movement, and so on and so forth, right? All of this, like amazing, brilliant people out there already creating, right? And then it's an open source again, right? Every single day there's a creation and so on. But this is basically, if you think about it, this is kind of like the brain behind things like Midjourney or Firefly. But you can run it locally. Sorry. It still works. It's not on internet. You downloaded all this model locally, right? It is big, like some of them are like 12 gig and things like that. But hey, 12 gig is like you're scrolling Instagram for a day. That's 12 gig, right? All right, so that's kind of like some of the things that we're using. So as you can see straight away, like okay, if I'm designing a tote bag for my client, right? All of this into the video creation of it can be done in one day. That's the scary thing about AI and how it can scale and how fast it is, right? But if you know the tricks, and it's free, $0. That's the most important part of it. The craziest part of it, it's $0. So anybody here can do this at home. Of course, $5,000 computer, don't get me wrong, and understanding how to set it up. But if you know it, you can download it. I'll share with you this workflow. You run it, done. All right? All right, so the next one, yeah, as you can see, like from nothing here to a video, right, in just a few clicks, 3 clicks. It's scary, but it can happen. So imagine personalization that, Lab was talking about, and it's Salah talking about, how AI can help improve your workflow. Well, you kind of see how the workflow works in a way. All right, so the next one is agentic AI, right? This is beyond just chatbot. I'm talking about scale now. You saw speed, now I'm talking about scale. So here it's something that we've worked with Waterfield, is one of our clients. They're working in business strategic and consulting. So what they're trying to do is, for business transformation, if they want to go somewhere, there's a certain vision or goal they want to set. And then they're trying to survey a lot of people, and not only survey, but trying to bring everybody or the stakeholders towards that vision, right? There's a lot of work to be done. But before, they have to do a lot of meetings, one-to-one meetings, each person, each stakeholders, one-to-one, to bring them, okay, you need to do this, these are the goals, and so on. But with agentic AI that actually go out, an outbound style AI, not just a chatbot, that can be programmed to understand what you need.
Certainly. I'm here to help us explore important trends that might affect your organization, 42 Interactive,
It's embeddable.
as part of a strategic planning process. Our goal is to understand external factors or trends that could influence your industry. For example, an aging population is a trend that impacts the aged care sector, while the rise of artificial intelligence is affecting the legal profession. Do you understand this concept, and are you ready to continue?
So here I'm actually talking because
Great!
iPhone.
Let's start by discussing what trends you think will affect your industry.
Sorry, iPhone actually didn't record my microphone, but that's something that almost like if you're calling somebody, right? It would basically just go and talk to you and asking you questions. Chatbot is like waiting for you to ask questions, where agentic style AI can actually go and ask you questions, right? Actually direct you somewhere. For example, that one was asking about AI trends for 42 Interactive. Now that's just the front end, the user interface for people to talk to, right? We're using OpenAI API to do that, right? So we're not building it from scratch. So here, for example, in the back end, this is where the exciting part. Whoa, sorry. Press? No. Press? Yeah, okay. So here's where we kind of train the agent of what's the role. I'm basically telling it, okay, you are an AI assistant, a facilitator, a consultant, and a mentor that helps users determine the trends that will affect their organization. For in this case, towards Fortitude Interactive, internally we want to survey people, about AI trends. And with that, we have like all of the record of the conversations, and for this client, of course, we are making it anonymous, right? We can track their email and so on and so forth, but we can track their IP address. But you can see here, this is some of the result of the survey that we did, the agent coming out, and you can see these conversations. Again, something like this would be handy. This is big data, right? It's handy for marketers, for things like that, like cold call, for example, they'll be handy. And then here it's a bit more geeky, but this is kind of using OpenAI factorizing algorithm. We clustering and factorizing the conversations. Where are similar trends or similar topics within a certain cluster, right? Okay, this is talking about UX, UI design. But here's the red one is all about like, oh, sorry, I don't understand, all of those kind of conversation from, this is only from 34 conversations as an example. But if you do it at scale, thousands of people, tens and thousands of customers, it's a different story, right? Trying to understand, for example, like, okay, why are we not doing well in our products or services? You can put out a survey, go to everybody, get a consensus of what they're talking about, and get a summary. Or for example, here I'll say summarize and find out trends only mentioning 42 Interactive. And I got some of the chunks here of some of the conversations, what they're talking about, the summary of it. It's a powerful tool behind the scenes, right? Like, again, online platforms can do that. There are like 11 labs, for example, that can create agentic AI. But how are you going to look at the summary or the data? That's the one that is important for us to be able to get actionable insights. And just to tell you a quick story, our client rolled this out in 7,000 university, right, Paul? University students, 7,000. Right? How much time is that going to be if somebody needs to hand out a survey form like Google Docs or things like that? It's going to take quite a while. But who's going to crunch the data of those 7,000 students? It's going to be a nightmare. But with AI, again, it's so much scalable and so much faster. You can get a quick summary of those 7,000 students. And funny enough, talking about that, one of the students put a bomb threat into the conversation. Because it's similar to, let's say, X.com, red agent, right? It means like, we don't censor anything. Say whatever you want. And then unfortunately, one student being cheeky and put a bomb threat. Well, we don't know who it is. We know the IP address. Put the IP address conversation, give it to the police chase it, right? But it basically told us, okay, hold on. We need to put a little bit of a guardrail, right? To say and tell to the agentic AI, all right, if somebody is talking outside of the topic, just say, or if it is a dangerous situation like that, just say, here's the helpline, I'm going to close the conversation right now, right? And then go away from there, because it's not going to be the customer's responsibility to manage that. Okay, especially those kind of things. Or if somebody talking about something that is, I don't know, this is talking about ethics and regulations and whatnot, that's basically applicable for every single organization and depending on their terms and conditions. All right, so that's an example of, again, a very simple tool that we built specifically for our client using OpenAI. OpenAI, just all OpenAI API and functionality to help summarize and so on and so forth. Those kind of the things that we do. But yeah, the first one is free. The second one is not really free. Depends on your usage count. But again, talking about scalability and trying it and testing it, it's really scalable and surprisingly didn't break when we deployed for 7,000 people. It's fine. And so this gives the power to our client to, again, grow. Talking about growth, grow very quickly, because they can then now service many clients with thousands and thousands of customers all at once. So that's pretty much what I would like to share today. Feel free to link with me on LinkedIn, and if you kind of have any questions after, feel free to talk to me or talk to Paul, my business partner, and we're happy to help. And yeah, those kind of the things that we are been playing and using. And again, the first one is really available and free, and I'm just showing the secret of the trade, but something that maybe pique your interest or where to start. Cool, thank you.